Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, please welcome all the way from San Juan, Puerto Rico, please welcome the one, the only, Miss Amber Rodriguez. Amber, what's going on? How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
We're fine. Thanks for joining us here on the Dungeon edition of the Wrestling Realm.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So how are you feeling? How's everything? How was your week? I saw you had a busy weekend.
Yeah, I managed Prodigy at ACW this Saturday.
So, I got to ask you this and start off. What does Miss Amber Rodriguez have on her iPod? This is going to be the toughest question you get all day, I promise you.
A lot of Spanish music. I listen to a variety of things. I have lots of Spanish things like Selena and Mikasa. I have Maybach music. I also listen to a lot of metal.
Hey, Amber, this is the brains of the operation, Cameron G. Thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, we all know that wrestling is a grueling sport, so if you don't mind, could you please tell us, how do you stay in shape to perform as well as you do in the ring?
Well, I train at Goldberg Pro Wrestling Academy in Severn, Maryland. And there's that. Then there's also going to the gym on a regular basis, eating right, a lot of protein, lots of cardio.
Okay.
Was it a challenge, to eat right and, do a lot of cardio?
Yeah, it was, because I love chocolate. And but it takes discipline, but it pays off when you're in shape.
Yeah. What made you get into professional wrestling?
I loved it since I was a kid. I also have two brothers that wrestle. They started before me.
Okay.
And, they found the school, Goldberg's, and they told me about it. And I figured I loved it so much, why not do it? I was really passionate about it.
That's great. Now, I tell you, I've always said on this show that my first memory of wrestling was when my mom was flipping through the channels and she landed on the Ultimate Warrior in the middle of cutting a promo. Ever since then, I was hooked. That's the story of my life right there. So can you recall your first wrestling memory, or at least your earliest memory of wrestling, and what was it? My
earliest memory of wrestling. I remember watching Raw one day, and I remember seeing Chris Jericho's debut on The Rock. That was one of the first memories I have of wrestling. Eventually, when I started to understand it more and watch it a lot more people that I've seen inspired me, such as the Great Muta, Ricky Steamboat, Rey Mysterio, Alundra Blaze, Trish Stratus, Mickey James. I can go on and on.
Amber, what was it like training with Goldberg? You going to his Goldberg's Academy. What was it like training with Goldberg? And honestly, did you mark out like the first time? Here's a guy we've seen on WWE TV and who was very popular imitating Goldberg. Did you have any mark out moments?
Yeah, I was starstruck. I mean, it was so surreal, being in the ring with him. He's an awesome guy. He's a great guy to know. He's really nice. He's really cool. He's like my second dad. He's awesome.
As you just stated, you trained under Dwayne Gill. Earlier this year, unfortunately, there was a tragedy that took place at Gilbert Wrestling Academy. A young man lost his life after sustaining a head injury while practicing a wrestling maneuver. What are your feelings regarding the dangers of professional wrestling, and is it something that always stays in the back of your mind when you're performing?
I mean, I was taught early on, every time you step between those ropes, anything could happen. You're definitely putting your life on the line in this business. It was unfortunate what happened. I wasn't there at the time, so I don't have any details or anything like that, but it was very unfortunate. But, I mean, like I said, anything could happen, and it's the risk you take when you're in this business.
Absolutely.
But my heart definitely goes out to his family.
You stated you have two brothers that wrestle.
Yes.
What was the family? How did they feel when you said you wanted to step between the ropes?
Everyone was very supportive of me. My dad had to, he needed some working on. I mean, I'm going to school in a couple of months, and that's really all my parents care about. As long as I'm going to school and, you know, have something to, you know what I mean, to fall back on. I get my degree and everything.
What will you be studying?
I'm going to be studying criminal justice and psychology.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, good stuff.
That'll certainly help you in the wrestling ring.
Might help us too. Well, obviously, you know, you're very into your academics. According to your Facebook, it says that you speak both Spanish and German. Currently, WWE's United States champion Antonio Cesaro, he speaks 5 languages. How difficult was it to learn German, and do you have any plans of learning any other languages in the future?
I want to learn French also, and probably Portuguese. I'm still learning German.
Okay.
I know enough to have small conversation, but yeah, I'm still learning that. I actually learned German from Kindred.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
Any chance we can get a little sample of your German, by any chance?
Ich spreche Sie Deutsch. Guten Tag.
Now, what did you just say?
I'm going to just say thank you very much.
I said I speak German, and good day, how are you?
Okay.
Thank you. Now I know who to go to when I have to take the Spanish 2 class next semester. I'm like, Amber, can you do my homework for me? I'll pay you.
There you go.
No, you're laughing. I'm dead serious. Oh, man. Now, Amber, I watched your match with Sienna Duvall, and you took on more of a brawl-like approach. And then I watched your match with Jessie K. There was a lot of submission involved. Let me ask you this. Which approach would you say was more comfortable for you? Do you like the brawl-like, approach, or do you rather take on the more submission style?
Well, usually I like to consider myself more technical, going with the submission route.
Mm-hmm.
But for that match with Sienna, it was the first women's match. We wanted to, go big, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's why I went with that brawl approach, I really wanted to make a statement.
I've actually heard a lot of women go on record saying that it's easier to work with men in the ring rather than women. I've seen you mix it up with the opposite sex on a couple of occasions, so let me ask you for your first-hand opinion and account. What is the difference between working with a man as opposed to a woman, if there is any?
Well, I don't really think there's much of a difference other than, of course, there's size and, there's a big strength difference, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've worked with guys at training. I really want to wrestle a guy at a show. That'd be great.
Anybody in particular?
Probably Kindred.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting.
Yes. I'll challenge him for that title that he just won.
Are you going to make it short-lived? Uh-oh.
That'd be interesting. All right, you heard it first.
I know you out there listening. Amber has laid down a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the special guest referee. Cam will be the guest timekeeper.
There you go. I like that.
That'd be great.
Oh, man. So, Amber, what are some of your pre-match rituals? Now, I saw your vlog, and you said at the time you didn't have any. Have you developed any pre-match rituals yet besides vlogging?
Yeah. Also, in that vlog, I said that I pray, which is very true. I pray before every match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I stretch. I think that's kind of important.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
But that's pretty much it, I like to listen to music also to calm myself down. I get really anxious and nervous before I go out there.
Okay. All right, Amber. We're about to play a little game, okay? You ready to play a game with me?
Okay.
I am about to test your loyalty to the wrestling business right now. I'm going to name a certain set of stipulation type matches, and you're going to tell me whether you would or wouldn't participate in that type of match. Are you ready?
All right.
We're going to start with a scaffold match. High above the ring. Yes.
No.
No. Are you afraid of heights?
Like how high?
Oh, we're talking about at least 20 feet above the ring.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd really have to pray before that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, you would. All right. So we're gonna go with a maybe for that one, okay?
Yeah, maybe.
A hog pin match. You got to be in the mud for this one.
I had a feeling that was going to come up eventually. Why not?
It's better. Okay, why not? Okay, so that's a yes to that one. We have a lingerie pillow fight. How about that one?
I wouldn't do that only because, like, I feel like I have a lot of skill to show off. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And with that, I'm not, like, at my full potential. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like,
Now, I want to go on record and say I'm not making these matches up. These are legitimate wrestling matches, so don't think I'm some kind of crazy pervert or anything.
Obviously knows they're real wrestling matches, Cam.
Well,
I got to put it out there for the people to know, okay? So a lingerie pillow fight is a no. That's a no. Now, last but not least, now this one here is going to be really interesting. This is going to be more interesting than the scaffold match because I see you have a lot of long, beautiful hair. Would you be willing to put it on the line in a hair versus hair match? Hell no.
That's not happening.
Are you not that confident in your skills that you can, win the match?
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. I just don't want to risk it. Okay, so all in all, to recap, we have a yes to the hog pin, a maybe on the scaffold, a no to the lingerie pillow fight, and a hell no to the hair versus hair. So there you go. There we go. One out of 4 is not horrible, I guess.
Amber has spoken. Amber, who are some people you are looking forward to working with in the future, whether it be in an indie scene or whether it be in some men or women who are in the WWE as of now or on their way to WWE? Who are some names that you are looking forward to working with?
There's so many. I had a great match with Sienna Duval, and I would love to wrestle her again in the future. Amy Lee, I had my first match with her, and I would love to, have a couple more. There's also, really big names like, Mickey James and, who I've looked up to for years, and Tara and Miss Tessmacher, who, was on a couple shows that I was also on. I would love to wrestle her. Me and Jessie K have had some great matches. Again, I would love to work a guy also.
Okay, that's great. Now, you kind of touched on this already, but I'm going to ask you to go a little bit deeper into it. Because it seems that the trend lately in major promotion is to take models and teach them how to wrestle. So if you can elaborate on how you feel about the mainstream women's wrestling being more about sex appeal first and then actually wrestling ability second. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's downgrading the women who have both sex appeal and athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are out there. I feel like you're taking, models and teaching them how to wrestle when you have so many good women out there who, just waiting for an opportunity, who really deserve one. Yeah, there's so many people that are just watered down, so many good wrestlers. I always say there's a big difference between a diva and a wrestler,
Mm-hmm. Amen. Yes.
Wrestlers get in there and they work, they wrestle, they do what they love, what they're passionate about. Divas really just go out there and,
Amber, now you're the booker, right? You're the booker. How does Miss Amber Rodriguez make her WrestleMania moment, and who does she make it with?
My WrestleMania moment. I would love to wrestle, girls like Mia Yim, Casey Carlisle. Probably end up being like a Gauntlet or something like that.
Oh, wow, that's the first.
Because there's a lot of girls I would love to get in the ring with.
That's awesome. I like to see that as well.
Gauntlets. Let's put this here: a Gauntlet women's wrestling match. That's WrestleMania at its best. It gets no better than that. That is WrestleMania at its best, and I can see Cameron G.
Why do a simple singles match when you can make it a little bit more exciting?
Exactly.
I'm hardcore. I'll take them both, in the great words of Tommy Dreamer. Oh, boy. Now, Amber, do you follow any mainstream wrestling like TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE? Do you follow it at all? And if so, what do you think about the current product of wrestling you see on TV?
I do watch it, but not as often as I used to. It's not like a weekly basis, but I catch it whenever I can. Aren't they G-rated or PG-13 now?
they're basically G-rated. You can say that. Yeah, they're definitely aimed more towards the children.
There's a lot of things you can't do, like headlocks and chops and things like that.
You can still do the headlock. You can't do the power driver or the chair.
Just not on Saturday mornings. Saturday morning slams, you can't do no kind of physical stuff at all.
Well, see, she said it right, though, because Saturday morning is G-rated, where Mondays before 10 o'clock, if you notice, is PG, and then after 10 o'clock, it gets like the PG-7.
That's when I'm asleep. I wouldn't know.
Have you watched the 3-hour Raws yet, Amber?
Honestly, I've seen one or two. I don't really, like I said, I don't watch it as much as I used to. I watch a lot of older wrestling, like the 90s and back. Yeah. I think it's definitely changed, but I'm sure it's for the better,
Well, I guess you'll feel like I feel sometimes, being 26, sometimes I look at the stuff in the 70s and 80s and be like, man, I wish I was born around that time so I could have really lived these moments while they were happening.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I just stick to the old school wrestling, and I learn a lot more from watching the older things than current. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what's going on now, but I'd rather watch the older stuff.
Well, I like how you put that, because especially if you can say that you're just learning from it and it helps you learn better, because you'll notice that a lot of the workers out here will tend to appreciate that more because you're not coming with this new school I know it all approach.
Right. Oh no. I'm always helpful and professional. Yeah. That stuff doesn't really get you anywhere. Being a know-it-all.
No, never. I don't care if it's in the classroom or if it's in the ring. It's the same situation. It's always better to keep your mouth shut and your ears open. You can learn so much more. Now, in the spirit of the holiday season, I have to ask you, Amber, what do you want to see underneath your Christmas tree this year?
The money would be nice. Or maybe.
Under the tree? It's a big tree.
No, but seriously, I'm more into the whole giving thing. With Christmas, I think it's been materialized.
Amber, as we get ready to close, is there anything special you want to say to the fans? Any type of advice? And certainly, where can fans find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Amber Rodriguez. I'm on Instagram. I recently made an Instagram. I'm still trying to figure it out. But it's at Miss Rodriguez, all one word. And Twitter at Amber Rodriguez 9.
Certainly. Amber, we'd like to thank you for coming in, stepping into the wrestling realm. We'll be sure to place this interview right on the upcoming WrestlingRealm.com, as well as the Wrestling Realm fan page, and you also let them know what's your exact fan page. I believe you gave your personal page, but let them know your exact fan page.
Mhm. Yeah. It's La Boricua Princesa Amber Rodriguez. That's my fan page, and then my Facebook page. But yeah.
would you mind saying that one more time for the people? One more time.
La Boricua Princesa Amber Rodriguez.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please get on your feet and thank the one and only Miss Amber Rodriguez for stepping into the Wrestling Realm.
She's so sophisticated.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us.